So greetings everyone, and our usual host Sonam is not able to join today due to network coverage area. So therefore, let me give you a quick recap to our previous session that was held in 26th of June, and our speaker was the Dr. Romano. He is the vice chair of GFIRE, and he shared his insights. The team rethinking public-private partnership from funding gaps to shared goals. So our last discussion revolved around three core themes. First one is co-design and co-ownership. The session explored how partnerships can only be successful when both public and private sectors are actively involved in co-designing solutions, sharing ownerships, and importantly, avoiding any power asymmetries. And also the next point is the building trust and long-term perspectives. So trust doesn't comes overnight, and the session emphasized that the partnerships needs a long-term investment horizon. And Dr. Ravi highlighted this brilliantly, and several of you echoed that in the discussion. And the next point was the experiences and the practical models. So we heard valuable experiences from Pakistan and Bangladesh on how collaboration works on real life settings. So Dr. Romano's points on intellectual property and alternative IP models sparked an important conversation on innovation without exclusivity. So during the session, a few key issues were raised as well, such as ensuring transparent communication and systematic information sharing, balancing risk and responsibility between public and private partners, need for an open innovation platforms, and new IP models beyond traditional patterns. So those are the key insights that we were discussed during the last session. And with that brief recap, I would like to invite Dr. Ravi to open and moderate the next session. As well, today we have Dr. Murad, our scaling and innovation officer at APARI. And Dr. Ravi give you a brief introduction about him as well as our respective speaker as well. Over to you, Dr. Ravi.
Thank you, Darshika, and welcome to all of you in this community of practice, a very important community of practice which we initiated a few months back. Well, today we have a speaker. I'm going to introduce you after I say a few words about this CoP, about the program. After we have the keynote presentation on driving scalable impact through public-private synergy and stewardship by Dr. Gururaj, we will have an expert opinion, that is the impact and scaling up officer of APARI, Dr. Murad Sartas, who is very much here and right now joining from Paraguay. He is a well-known figure on that. So we have a very well-known speaker and we have a very well-known expert to comment upon. And after that, we will open the session for discussion. And then we will seek all your suggestions and then we close. Well, the keynote speaker, the man of the match today is Dr. Gururaj Kulkarni. He has 25 years of experience in both public and private sector. He's a seasoned expert in global research and development. He has successfully led numerous product development initiatives and regulatory projects, including multi-location evaluations tailored to targeted business market. For all that, he has worked with Bayer Crop Science, he has worked with Syngenta, and he has of late worked with CGIR as a director of Bio Innovation Center and Global Head Stewardship, Research and Regulatory Compliances. Now, Dr. Gururaj, actually, his career is distinguished by extensive collaboration with cross-functional team. This is a very important point. With the team across Asia, Africa, and other global regions, And he brings strong capabilities in project management, stakeholder engagement, and continuous improvement on that. He has consistently driven operational efficiency by streamlining research functions and leading strategic infrastructure investment across Asia. His work has been instrumental in aligning innovation with regulatory compliance and market needs. This is a very crucial point. You're linking innovation with the market and with the regulatory compliances. And presently, he is a general manager and head of crop excellence in String Bio Private Limited, which is offshoot of World Economic Forum based at Bangalore. With these few words, I will stop introducing Dr. Gururaj. There is much more, but your presentation will speak volume of who you are. So over to you, Dr. Gururaj. And I request you to kindly respect the time. I think the time for you is 25 minutes. Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Ravi Ketrapal, for your kind words, and good day to all of you. Thanks for joining this webinar, and also thanks for our team and Dr. Ravi for inviting me for this particular session. So just to start, no single sector can solve the complex challenges of the world alone, whether it's improving the agri resilience, driving the sustainable development, or enhancing the healthcare access. Scaling a meaningful impact requires a combined effort, strength of the government and industry, and also the community as well. So today we are here in terms of a pivotal moment where public-private synergy is not just a collaboration model, but it is also a strategic imperative. In this session, we will explore how public institutions provide a scale, policy support, and legitimacy, and private sector, how it brings innovation, efficiency, and investment, and how we together share a stewardship in terms of driving a measurable, sustainable, and inclusive impact. Let's reimagine what it becomes possible when these forces align, not in isolation, but through partnership. As we all know, the global population is expected to reach by 9.7, close to 10 billion by 2050. And to cater the food requirement, we need to provide higher productivity of 60 to 70%. So with the depleting resources, land, water, labor. So how we can bring this demand, it's not only just a food, but to bring it a more diverse, nutritious diets. So just to introduce, agriculture is contributing a lot to the economy as a whole. 1 in 4 of us is one or the other way directly linked with the agriculture. And this agriculture is, as I mentioned earlier, not only a challenges in terms of producing more nutritious food, the productivity, but also it is being pressurized. We are facing a lot of challenges in agri ecosystem in terms of climate change, in terms of resource constraint, and also the volatility in the market. So to cater all these needs and meet the expectation, we want a kind of a better collaborative approaches. So for that, the PPP, public-private partnership synergy or stewardship, is the best tool in terms of taking this challenge ahead and meeting the requirements of the expectation. Next one, please. So what is this public-private partnership means? It's a cooperative arrangement between public and private entity with a mutual benefit. Both the partner need to be benefited in this collaboration. So in terms of this collaboration, what it parameters in terms of the strategic and shared investments, and also the rewards are shared, risks are shared, obviously, and it will also have a joint decision in terms of making it a successful PPP model. Next one, please. So in 2007, ICAR came up, the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, Delhi, New Delhi, India. They come up with a very, agricultural transformation through public-private partnership, where they addressed some parameters and success stories in the public-private sector. So public-private sector, from the public sector perspective, They bring policy parameters and profiles, and also it gives support of the research institutions and also the farmers outreach. And they, through the government scheme, they can bring subsidies so that it can reach to the maximum scale in terms of farmers. So the private sector can bring the technology and market linkages and also the efficiency in the whole value chain proposition in terms of capital investment, and also the taking it forward in terms of the efficiency model. So in this synergy, when these two sectors come together, I think it's a kind of an innovation to solve all our challenges in a faster rate. Next one. So if you look into the successful models, especially in the PPP models in agriculture, we have a lot in from the history. If you look at the contract farming is working very good in cotton sector, sugarcane sector, where the millers and the entrepreneurs are associated with a group of farmers, where the resources and all being provided, technological support will be provided, and the produce will be taken by them in terms of assured profit to the farmer. So there are a lot of success stories on research and development collaborations. We can also see a good infrastructure investment also, especially in the irrigation sector and also the cold storage sector and other sectors in terms of supporting the whole value chain proposition. And if you look into the whole of the collaboration in the research, seed sector, and also the biofertilizer sector, and largely on the crop protection sector, there are a lot of B2B exchanges in terms of technologies happening very recently to scale up some of these innovations in the agri-technology. So again, in the next forum, success forum is a market linkages platform. A lot of digital formats you will be helping the whole value chain in terms of helping the farmer on the climate, on the input, as well as the market price perspective. The whole agriculture support is given through digital platform. And also there will be advisory in terms of plant protection and also the climate conditions, so that the farmer can tune in terms of their operation, well prepared for the upcoming issues with respect to the climate. Next one, please. So the benefits, as I was mentioning, this PPP success model, if it can bring a faster technology adoption to the farmers. It can cut short the whole period of innovation, lab to field kind of a innovations more faster way, in more better way. So it can also reduce financial burden on the public sector exchanger and also on one particular partner. So it also gives an enhanced market access and faster reach to the farmers. In whole of these approaches will help in terms of a better productivity and also in a sustainable manner. And it also basically encourages the inclusive growth with a small order of participation in the whole PPP model. Next one, please. So if in terms of challenges, if you can see the public-private, challenges are some of the areas where it's not that, successful. We have seen a lot of policy as well as the regulatory hurdles, and also there will be a trust issue between the partners. Some of these things are not clarified, no transparency or lack of communication probably may be the reason. And also there will be imbalance in terms of share of whether it is the investment or it is the risk sharing ability. That's how there are some of these partnerships were not went well. And also looking to the market volatility, even affecting the farmers' income, sometimes make them conservative in terms of joining such big initiatives. And also, as I mentioned, there is a good need of transparency and accountability with respect to PPP model there to make it more success to address some of these challenges. Next one, please. So if you look at the successful PPP projects globally, we have a lot of such example. Some of these are mentioned here, and it's basically the US, UAE, agri innovation management with respect to climate, and is one of the again PPP model in terms of the addressing the challenge issues. And you also there will be a lot of private sector will be showing interest with respect to the regenerative agriculture, in the areas of agriculture to support and increase the farmer income by many folds. And another project is Terra Africa partnership, is also a kind of a African Union, World Bank, and FAO project scaling for the sustainable land management in Africa was a successful model. And India very closely working with the Israel in terms of agriculture project to enhance the productivity by bringing the less resources, the water use efficiency technology or the advanced water usage technology, nutrient management technology, bringing the center of excellences for the different crops is working also very well. And among the CGR, I think the rice consortium has brought a good network of the GRISP project, brought a lot of rice programs globally, addressing 900 plus partners and wide R&D collaboration. Like that, the nutrient reserve, natural resource management, and also the Asia rice collaboration and Asia FAO collaborations brought a lot of such successes stories with respect to the PPP model. Next one. So, and also very specifically based on my experience, the working with International Rice Research Institute at Philippines, there are a lot of such consortium do exist with the CGR institutes in terms of IRI, if I can tell, the Bioinnovation Center, which I started earlier in 2020, has given a lot of partnership, successful partnership, with the non-traditional donors like Shell, and also the private sectors and public institutes like agriculture universities in India that have got a lot of collaboration on different areas of research to fast track the product or solution development to the farmers or end users. Like that, the Hybrid Rice Development Consortium, Direct Seed Consortium, or the other example where public-private partnerships are going very well with respect to bringing the technology forward. And also the FAO is very pivotal in terms of collaborating with private firms in addressing the post-harvest loss reduction programs. And another example is the ITC, the company in India, is also brought a digital market linkage with the eChopal, is also very successful in reaching out to the farmers. And another in the dairy sector, a revolutionary PPP model is the Amul cooperative milk model, which has brought a lot of farmers together in one platform to make the rice and the dairy products reachable all across the geographies or states in the country. Next one. So bringing back, as Dr. Ravi was already mentioning about the code of practices for the APARI, I think APARI is instrumental in addressing some of these guiding principles, bringing the transparency and sustainability, and also bringing the stakeholder in governance and bringing examples with respect to the Asia Pacific, sharing the best practices among the PPP model. It's helping both the public and private sector in terms of bringing them together with a mutual beneficial platform. Thank you. Next one. Yeah, if you look at the, as I was earlier working with CGR Center, we brought one CGR mission was to bring all CGR connected to each other to understand the best practices each institute is doing at their level in different areas of research. So one CG model is bringing all the 15 CG centers together to address some of the best practices adopted in one center will be followed in the other center. We have a lot of identification, a lot of such projects are being run to enhance the efficiency per se. Next one, please. Yeah, so when we launched Bioinnovation Center with an objective of a kind of a membership partnership between the public and private sector for research and for scaling up, and also to bring new solutions and for the new challenges that agriculture is facing. So it meets the sustainable development goals, and we came up with the aim of partnership for prosperity, and that gives a lot of leverages in terms of bringing the public-private teams together and work in the single platform, leveraging the resources and the facilities across, and using the technology platforms in terms of scaling up as well as bringing the faster product or solutions to the market or consumers. Next one. Yeah. As I was mentioning, the MOU was signed with the University of Bangalore. This is a public sector agriculture university in India on the rice, research and the scalability and training and development perspective with the Bio Innovation Center of ERI, and where a lot of exchanges of knowledge sharing as well as the training kind of things were given to the expert to enhance the overall efficiency or the overall scalability of the research platforms that the university is having in terms of addressing the challenges of the farmers around that geographies of areas. Next one, please. Similarly, the nature-based solution wing of Shell has supported the project with climate resilient rice variety development and also the methane emission scalability and sequestration in terms of addressing the challenges of emissions and bringing the net zero target in from the joint research venture with ERI is also running well with respect to the Shell and ERI. Next one. So we have definitely the technology. This is one of the technology, the speed breeding of speed flowering technology, where we are controlling the environment and trying to induce the stress things in the plant so that the number of cycles per year are more. In general, 2 to 3 cycles in a year, whereas with this technology, we can reach up to 5 to 6 cycles so that the development of the new products will be faster, and bringing that new varieties or hybrid to the farmers will be better. Next one, please. So coming to the String Bio is basically an advanced bio manufacturing company. It's based at Bangalore, and it has a unique process, that's a gas fermentation process, and it has around 50 plus patents on the process as well as the products per se. And basically here the products are developed, with the methane gas usage and using the methane gas as an input. So in terms of finding the products which are addressing the challenges in the agriculture sector and food and nutrition sector, animal nutrition sector, and also helping the Scope 3, that's a carbon credit program in terms of reducing the emissions, the greenhouse emissions from the manufacturing and field use perspective. It's also helping to address the SDG goals and also the technology platforms and the bringing a lot of diverse products in terms of showing the scalability. Next one, please. So as I was mentioning, String Bio has developed a very crop-specific solutions tailored for the farmers' unique challenges. We have a different product sectors in terms of microbial growth stimulants, peptides, biostimulants, biofertilizers, and micronutrients. And in terms of supporting the value chain, it is not only enhancing the farmers' income, but also the produce of the quality, fertilizer reductions, and overall health improvement of the soil, and addressing the abiotic stresses like drought and the GHG abatement. Next one, please. So it has a wide range of products supporting the different crops. Microbial stimulant category, we have clean rice for rice, biostimuli for corn, and also lush tea. These are the peptide biostimulants for the tea crop. Impact is for the cereals and maize, and BioLift for the tuber crops, and Enhanzo and Grape for the fruits, and lush cane is for sugar cane, and also the micronutrient sector with zinc, calcium, and boron support across the crops. Next one. So we have, in terms of the reachability on trials, we have trials starting from US to Japan, where our products have been evaluated on the target crops in terms of addressing some of the challenges. All the trials are going well with the multi-location trials in different geographies. Next one, please. So we have a pilot operation unit started around 5 years back in Bangalore. Very recently, near to Bangalore, a place called Tumkur, where a big facility of the production has been created, and it's a full-scale commercial facility with 10 million acres of the product support in terms of that. So this particular plant is a very well advanced with the zero liquid distribution and net zero technology already incorporated into the whole infrastructure development. Next one, please. So as I told, clean rice is a biostimulant. Basically, on rice, we are also a partner in terms of sustainable research platform, working trials with IRI and also the international Indian Rice Research Institutes and also the private sector as well. So String Bio working with public sector and private sector in terms of bringing this technology validation and scalability, bringing the product solution to the farmers in the faster and better way. We are all working on all that sector. One of that example, as mentioning, was clean rice. Clean rice is basically helping the plant not only increasing the yield, but also reducing the methane gas emissions from the rice ecosystem up to 60% nitrous oxide reduction. And for the farmer, it's giving 20 to 25% of yield enhancements. That's also coming up with respect to this. We are validating all these things with the public as well as private sector, establishment or institutes all across, not only in India, but across other geographies as well. Next one, please. So this was the recent meeting with the public sector. We conducted Indian Institute of Rice Research in Hyderabad. 2 years of the rice research data conducted there has given very excellent results. And that was basically told by the institute director to all the public sector, private sector team that participated in that brainstorming session in terms of rice sustainability. Next one, please. So it's another program where String Bio is pivotal in terms of bringing it, the carbon credit or emission related knowledge enhancement directly to the farmers. Companies working directly with the farmers, making them aware what are these emissions, how can you control these emissions with using this product by harvesting the carbon credit and translating that into a monetary benefit in terms of product usage to the farmer, so that the farmer community also get the leverage of scaling up this using of our products, not only bringing the monetary benefit to the farmer, but also bringing the solution in terms of climate change and climate resilient approaches. Next one, please. So we are also part of the global platforms like Sustainable Rice Research and World Economic Forum, and we were also brought the white paper on the responsible rice in terms of sustainability approaches towards the rice going forward in bringing the solution by using the String Bio products. Next one, please. Yeah. So as I was telling, agriculture is very, very important in coming days in terms of increased population, reduced resources, and also the technology, and also human-induced things like war and the other things. So it's basically very, very important, and we are at the very crucial stage, to bring the technology, to bring solutions to the challenges that we are facing as a whole. Next one, please. Yeah, my final words. Again, the PPP model is collaboration is a key for public-private synergies to unlock the collective strength and the policy support. And we, as I told, it's a shared responsibility with the stewardship to ensure the long-term sustainability as well as accountability for the equitable impact of for the all stakeholders and the scalable model at work. So bringing the PPP model, we can successfully pilot and scale up the technology framework and inclusive partnership and adaptive strategies and impact and the beyond numbers. Truly successfully, we can lies in improving the lives and also helping the ecosystem and local economies as well in terms of driving it then. Again, let's commit for the deeper collaboration, responsible innovation, and we can also bring the the purposeful stewardship to drive the lasting scalable impact. Synergy is not just about the work together, it's about achieving together. So in terms of, next one, please. So the scale of the challenges that we face, and from the food security to climate resilience, it demands the larger solutions. Today, we have seen that public-private synergy is not just a strategic partnership, but it's a shared responsibility. When the government brings the vision and scale to the private sector, brings the innovation and the agility, we can create the force with a greater than these two alone. So let's move forward, not just for the collaboration, but also as a co-architect of the scalable, inclusive, and lasting impact. Together, we don't just accelerate the process, we multiply it. Thank you very much. I stop here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gururaj, for such a succinct presentation. And I think with your presentation, it seems everything is possible with public-private partnership. Like everything went very well, at least in your career, I believe. And you really excelled that way, the way you have progressed. Thank you. Thank you for excellent presentation. May I request now Dr. Murag Sartaz, who is the Chief Impact and Scaling Officer of APARI, to give his expert comment.
Right,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ravi, and thank you very much for Dr. Gururaj. Actually, I don't know what to say after this excellent presentation. And then, Dr. Gururaj summarized the public-private partnership as a concept, and he showed really good implementations of public-private partnership in agricultural sector across different parts of Asia and, different big powerhouses like India. So we've seen public-private partnership. I don't want to take much of your time, but just to add, I want to comment on two things. First, what is public-private partnership is for the future, not for the present, not for the past, but for the future of the continent. And secondly, how is, the experts working in public sector, how experts working in the businesses, in the middle level can benefit from public-private partnerships. So the first is the future of the, public-private partnerships in Asia Pacific and beyond. We've seen many examples and highlighting the roles, and Dr. Guru was excellent to show that public-private partnership enable us to go from innovation to scaling. So in the future, probably this role will continue. Public-private partnership will be even more important. It will play a more important role in the scaling of innovations, particularly of the frontier technologies. We all know that there are significant changes in some of the other sectors, how the daily things are done. I'm sure that you all hear about AI. I'm sure that you all hear about drones and many other technologies. When you look at those new technologies that can really, change the game for all of us, one thing that is common is that, the first, they are expensive. And secondly, they need expertise, which is rare. So probably for the future of Asia and the Pacific, we will see more public-private partnership in AI and frontier technologies. Maybe in the West, US have resources, or some of the big Asian countries like China have resources to invest in AI and make it work in a country scale. But in the rest of Asia and the rest of the world, actually, we need collaborations, public-private partnerships, and pooling of resources to catch up, to keep AI, to keep frontier technologies that will transform the world and agriculture as equal partners with the powerhouses like China and US. So what I'm trying to say is that public-private partnership in the future is not only is just scaling a single individual agricultural capability or a sector, but it's also absolutely necessary to scale, necessary for frontier technologies like AI for Asia and Pacific to be competitive and relevant. That's indeed when we look at the recent developments in different countries. I know Malaysia a little bit, Vietnam a little bit, Thailand a bit more than the others. There is significant, investment and initiatives on public-private partnerships, especially in AI. So just to wrap up the first commentary, Dr. Guru was excellent on the concepts and the past and the now of public-private partnership. I don't want to articulate further, but we should think it also as a future instrument for us to keep competitive in the changing world and the changing, the big power dynamics. And then the second, maybe the more important question here, I think we are now about 50 people, which is excellent in the group. What does it mean for us? How we make use of this public-private partnership thing, how we become a part of it, how we become actually benefited. It depends on our role. If we are mid-level public experts working in the agricultural sector, in the ministry, and in research and so on, public-private partnership first is a way to access to complementary resources. We know that in our ministries or in our public sector, there's so many competing challenges for the resources. As our experts, we might have sometimes difficulty to access what we need to champion and promote our work. Public-private partnership can be a good instrument to access the funding and speed up the process. The second one, again, from the public sector perspective or public sector expert perspective, sometimes because of the nature of our work, we cannot obtain some of the key technologies for our work. We cannot access the key experts directly. So we can use the public-private partnership to fill up the necessary skills and necessary software, necessary tools and hardware we need for our work. So from a second benefit from the public perspective, the public expert perspective is that it can complement our projects that we are implementing, and it can complement our teams to make our work better. And of course, from the private sector perspective, I saw in the participants, we have quite a few private sector representatives as well, particularly the medium ones. If you want to scale our solutions, when we approach the government, it's big, it takes time. It really requires quite a bit of investment in advance before we get something. Public-private partnership actually becomes a platform for the middle businesses to use and grow. What we need to do is, from the business perspective, just to approach the existing public-private partnerships and then try to use it rather than investing all that money from our own pockets to get our products to market and scale. And finally, from a person who works in the different sectors and includes our party, of course, as well, public-private partnerships are also fun. I want to bring the elements of the human beyond the, the single professional perspective. Public-private partnership is enabling us to meet with different people, with different backgrounds, with different skills, and keep us surprising, keep us dynamic. And that synergy actually creates a lot of learning and a lot of good ideas that actually is proven to transform the world. So this is just to say that, public-private partnership is not only beneficial from an individual expert perspective, it is not an absolute necessary for Asia to Pacific to catch up with the giants of frontier technologies like China and US, but also it's nice, it's fun. It's a way to discover ourselves better, be more successful and happy. I would like to stop here to give more time to questions and comments. Over to you, Ravi.
Thank you so much, Murad. This is wonderful. Dr. Guru, would you like to react to Dr. Murad? Any response to his expert comments?
No, thank you very much. I think Mirat was a very knowledgeable person, as you mentioned, in terms of bringing the human factor, technology, AI, as well as the important factors that are driving for the PPP model at the Asia Pacific level. I think it's very, very informative and the good information in terms of taking that PPP model to the next level. I stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi and Apar, for having this a lovely and wonderful event. And the presentation from Guru Raj was excellent. We really love it. And the perspective which Dr. Murad brought is really very valuable, because in businesses, things turn around trust only. So that trust has to come through multiple factors, but then there has to be an element of transparency also, because it's very easy to get the trust shaved off due to multiple reasons. So what we are piloting here in Pakistan and in Africa is that apart from developing a strong PPP platform, we're also involving financial institutions as a guarantor to the partnerships. But that really brings in some sort of level of trust, especially for the farmers who have a second door to knock, who have a third door to knock in case of any confusions or problems. But that excellent, you're right, as Mr. Murat said, that technology does bring in transparency and traceability, which is really essential for current businesses. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Maktoum. For those who do not know him, he is a very high-level official in Pakistan, and we have been trying to collaborate on some project. Thanks for your additional comments, Mr. Maktoum. Okay, now we still have 15 minutes. We are going to open the discussion, the presentation and the expert comment. And before I make it open, I already see some questions in the chat box. And Dr. Guru, the first question is not very encouraging. It's a lot of comment, but what he ends up, Sharad Deshpande is his name, and he's from Dharwar, near Bangalore. He says PPP is only a buzzword, not making much progress. What do you have to say on that?
Yeah. I think it's up to the individual to comment.
Okay.
But what I would like to say is the PPP we are talking today about the agriculture, but it is the future for any scalability. If you go into the other sector, not only in agriculture, even the big infrastructure development is today going by PPP model. The big investment in the defense sector is going with the PPP model. The metro rail project in Bangalore is multi-million-dollar project is going with the public-private partnership model. So and also it's a very successful story today. If I can take in agriculture also, the IR female lines from Erie, where still the base model for the any line development in agriculture sector. If you look at the green revolution, the wheat came, and the food security, food challenges, they were all addressed because of the seed production. We're bringing the technology into the different geography, scaling that technology to meet the requirement of the scalability as well as the human requirement. I think any single institute, whether it is a private or public, cannot go to the extent and outreach the geography and reach to the farmers per se. So I think that collaboration is very much needed, not only in agriculture sector, but in also other sectors, to bring a faster products to the user per se. I will stop there.
Thank you. Okay, now it is open for discussion for anyone. Can you please raise your hand? Anyone has any query or comment?
Yes, Dr. Ravi, if you allow.
Yeah, please, Dr.
Yeah,
Rihanna.
I'm Dr. Rihanna from Pakistan. I already have the whole presentation is very interesting, and the issues are raised very well. I just wanted to maybe make a comment, because already my senior Pakistani colleague has explained it very well. Because I'm an agriculturist, so I'll just share a small thing that public-private partnership, as I have seen and I have experienced, because I have been working, most of my work basically is on agriculture, but a few years I've been working with the government, and my job was basically public-private partnership and constitution of industry advisory groups or sort of sector skill councils type of thing. The models which other countries, other international countries, they're following for this PPP. So in Pakistan, agriculture sector, maybe we don't have so many big success stories. Why? Because of lack of trust between the farmer and like the government and the public sector. And mostly the reason is that mostly the farmer, they are relying on the middleman, and then we are always, every year we are facing so many other issues because of having a complicated setup of private sector as well as the public sector. But in other, like seed certification department, they have a big success. We can quote this particular sector as a big success story of public private partnership. Then with the help of because I'm working in Pakistan Agriculture Research Council, so we have set an example of this public private partnership with some international funding of USDA. And like Rifan Maize company, we have got them in touch with the NERC, and now we are working on aflatoxin, and we have developed a product with this sort of public-private partnership. But still, in countries like Pakistan, maybe it will take a lot of time for public sector to gain trust of private sector. Number one, why? Because they have they always have very high expectations from the public sector. And I'm sorry to say that the public sector, we are also not always so welcoming for them in all the aspects. We also have our own limitations, but still hoping for the best and trying to make it more convenient for the private sector so that they can come into it, and public sector and the private sector both can do some wonders. Last month I was in China, and I have seen that in agriculture sector particularly, that mostly their sector is relying and showing best performance because of this public-private partnership. So of course, I expect the same thing. We all the countries, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, all these developing countries, that maybe we can opt those models and we can do some good things for bringing the private sector in and gaining their trust. Thank you so much. Dr. Ravi, I think you are mute.
Oh, sorry. Thanks a lot, Dr. Rayana. I think your own observations that's very useful. You shared with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Murad, you have raised hand.
I think, after the comments from Muktum and Dr. Rena, it reminded me in some of the science findings on the science of scaling. And Ravi, I also work as a scaling scientist. So when you look at the performance of public-private partnerships, actually there are a few factors that make it and break in the low and middle income countries. I'm still learning about Asia, and I want to actually invite you to share the examples you have with this community of practice. The first one is the human element. Typically, in Asia, we are communicating by default. We are interacting, we are sharing ideas. It's in the nature of the people. But the public-private partnership is multi-stakeholder process, so it has to be facilitated professionally. So in many circumstances, we have a lot of technical experts, but not enough human experts that will, establish the trust, that will establish the shared understanding and collective planning. Dr. Guru also mentioned that, but I completely agree with Maktoum and Dr. Rena. That's science supports that there needs to be professional human facilitation and management in the process. And the second thing that comes from the science, including the recent papers I was working, public-private partnerships are successful when the combination of two creates three. So if you want to be successful in public-private partnership, we should think, okay, if we come together, what else we will gain? So if public-private partnership enabled extra funding, that would not be possible for the public alone or private alone. If it will enable accessing to resources, human resources, hardware, that will not be possible alone, then public-private partnership works. But if the addition 1 + 1 doesn't make 3 in public-private partnership, it's very low chance that it will work in Asia and the Pacific. So when we plan, we should also plan in a way that, okay, what else we will gain? I don't know the specific examples, and I really want to encourage you, share with the community and myself. I will be very happy to learn about your cases, but probably those cases where it wasn't working, either there was no human facilitation or really a professional human relationship management, or 1 + 1 didn't make 3. It became just a resource sharing. What do you think, Dr. Rena? You were smiling.
Thank you, Murad. Thank you. That was great. Mr. Maktoum, you have another comment?
Yes, in fact, I have, and I just wanted to share some very basic work which we are doing here in Pakistan, and also now trying to implement the same in Africa, is that we are trying to bring in a grading system in partnerships. So it's like a digital platform where each partner would be graded on the feedbacks coming from the farmers. Now that will help us in deciding some policy level issues at the government level, and also bring in some social pressure, not to say political pressure, which will come automatically once the picture is clear. So we are doing some sort of basic work here in Pakistan based on the market response, especially in the farmers, because what we have observed that farmers do not have much voice in developing policies, which eventually affects the whole supply chain. That's something which I wanted to share, and if anyone wants to join us, we would be more than happy to somehow participate in that initiative with them.
Thank you, Mr. Maktoum. If you can leave your email ID or your WhatsApp number on the chat, I think will be more useful for the participant. Or people can contact us if you need to really collaborate with Mr. Maktoum. Yes, in the chat, I see some very important comment by one of our potential partner from Australia, Justin Ahmed. He's a director at Beanstalk Ag Tech. Would you like to speak your comment, Justin? Okay. I think maybe he has left. He's not before his computer. What he's saying, Dr. Guru, that he thanks you for your very insightful presentation, and also to Murad for the comments. And from the perspective of an individual agricultural technology innovator, I don't know how many of you know this company Beanstalk in Australia. He's asking, what would you say are the proof points that are most critical in garnering the trust necessary to establish public-private partnership? What are the key points for trust building, especially the private sector, which has been highlighted in the conversation? How did you approach this challenge at Strength Bio or through any other experience, Dr. Gururaj?
Yeah, I think if I can tell, the technology is crucial. As any of the technology or any of the hybrid or any of your product or any solution that helping to the farmers at the end of the day will be successful, or it is addressing any challenges that agri sector is facing, will be definitely helpful as a welcome for the PPP collaborations. So that's what I was mentioning in my slides. The policy perspective, the another example is COVID vaccine. The COVID vaccine, it was a big challenge. All airports stopped. One human is not liking another human. No one want to talk with another human with respect of virus spreading. It has created so heterogeneous among all of us, saying that this virus may come from any source. Within 1 year or 1.5 years, if we are bringing a solution as a vaccine, it is not the public sector or private sector, it's the PPP model, which brought this particular solution to that faster technology, saving the human life. So we don't need any bigger example than this for quoting the successful in the public-private sectors, whether it is a Bharat Biotech or a couple of 2 or 3 agencies work very closely, and government as a public sector helped in assessing the clinical trials and validation and the success of the vaccine, and whole world is enjoying and got that success in 1.5 years. If it is the routine medicine, it would have taken 4 to 5 years. But this is the very where public sector and private sector came with the technology and efficiency and enhancement. Public sector supported the policy parameters, bringing that solution faster to the people and saved the millions' life. I stop there.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gururaj. Okay, one last chance for any question or any comment. Anyone?
So, Rabbi, this is Afjan.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, no doubt, PPP is very important areas, as our speaker actually mentioned in different areas. But it is my experience, lot of expert is found in different areas, but there are few in the PPP expert. So I think this is the most important area, but why the expertise not grows in, even Bangladesh in the independent areas. I don't know why it is. Understand my point?
Yeah, I got your point. I don't have an answer to that. If anyone can help me, Dr. Gururaj, Dr. Murad.
Maybe I can actually, my few points also to the Guru. He mentioned the challenges, in case of challenges, mistrust among the partners. It is one of the challenges. Why it is occurred? Where is the gap? Why mistrust? If mutually agreed, it should not be, but it has happened. Why? And another thing, they mentioned the partnership. Most of the partnership actually in case of research. But what about the extension approach and the marketing system development? Is there any partnership there? We don't find any example from your presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I think I addressed in one of the slide about the chances of failurity of the PPP, and also Dr. Mirat mentioned a few of them, the human factor, and also I mentioned in the in my slide, if there is an imbalance in the investment, in the technology, in the risk, in the reward, in the accountability, and transparency and communication. These are the few reasons where if there is an imbalance in this, there is a chances of the trust, and thereby the collapse of the whole PPP system. In case of Bangladesh, I think World Bank, ADB, IRI, and CIMET, there are CG centers and private sectors are already supporting in different establishments, from agriculture to infrastructure to capabilities to training and development, enhancing the resources, human resources. I think all are working for the developing countries, and Bangladesh is also one of the beneficiary of all these projects. I think it's over the time as the topic will mature and the people and expertise will also mature in all the developing countries as a whole. I stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Guru. Well, friends, we are overshooting time now. So I will like to sum up. Not going to say what speakers and the participants have said. I would like to close by saying, when we talk of public-private partnership, my own observation had been, developed countries have an excellent public-private partnership model. Whereas I personally feel it should be more developed in the undeveloped countries, such partnership, who need more. So I see a complete opposite of what should have been globally, because the resources with the government is much less in the least developed or low and middle income countries. And the trust building is also not much, as Dr. Rehana was frank to highlight it, which we all know, in fact. Now, this is something we need to look at why it is happening. We are working with SKDF project on seed trade, international trade and compliances and all. There are a lot of private sector involved. We have worked on the biopesticide project where we had a lot of public-private sector involved. I give you one example of Bangladesh here. We worked in 9 countries. They have an excellent research set up at Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute on biopesticide. And we worked with them also. There was a research element, field element, and policy and all. Excellent result came up with the work on the efficacy of biopesticide, which can replace chemical, which is a need of the hour for all of us, for facilitation of safe trade and from the environmental angle. But there was no private sector to take up manufacturing of biopesticide. So what I'm saying is I'm just highlighting a gap we observed on the ground. And then gradually we linked them with one private sector who came forward to now fund their research on biopesticide, which they will eventually be able to scale up once it is found useful for a given pest host combination. So the point I want to make is public-private partnership has to be different in different approach when we talk of research. It should be completely different when we talk of innovation, and should be completely different when we talk of development. Because expectation from private sector in the developing country is mainly investment. Investment. People often overlook the kind of expertise we have in private sector. That co-learning, co-sharing, everything which is not much being done. Public sector often feel we can do everything, you give us money, you give us funding. So that also hinders the kind of a partnership, I believe, where we don't take private sector as equal players to come in. That is one point we have observed. Then what we find, when you go for development work, let us say scaling up the innovation, it is more development. Of course, there is a research in scaling up also. There is more development eventually. Here, it is completely private sector. See, we can produce a lot. We can have good production, we can have certification, but finally export is mainly from the private sector. It's not from the public sector. Public sector will normally give approvals, like they will certify, or they will say like it is free from any residue, chemical, pest and all. But eventually it is a private sector which becomes a big player. We should be keeping in mind that they are like husband and wife. There'll be always issues. There'll be always an issue of trust. There'll be always a kind of a partnership annoyance, somewhere it is annoying. And there will always be knowing that we cannot live without each other, which is the final. And that is a mission we have to realize. We cannot survive without a public-private partnership, is the point I mean to say. And they like or not, they have to marry. And the discussions we have in Asia Pacific, where there is in general a vibrant economy, It is mainly because private sector, as Dr. Guru also showed with many examples, they are quite active. Only thing is we have to find the gaps, and especially for the low-income countries, where we can bring this element in a more effective way. Friends, this community of practice is not that we are concluding anything. It is just one of the many webinars which we will be having and we had. I think we keep on discussing, we keep on maturing our ideas, our thoughts, and our partnership, our networking. And hopefully we sent a good message to the community of those in research and development and in politics and everywhere, the benefit of public-private partnership. So I would like to thank profusely
Dr.
to
Ravi,
Dr. Gururaj.
Dr. Ravi,
Yeah,
Dr. Ravi, one suggestion. I'm sorry,
please.
I'm interrupting at a very
No,
wrong
no
time.
problem.
Just a
No.
suggestion. It was just coming into my mind that in this forum, if Apari can include some good progressive farmers from all the countries or from some of the countries, so that I don't know if there is someone or not, but some good progressive farmers from each low income country, we can give them some awareness, and they can make aware their farming community about the public private partnership, and maybe it can contribute at least a little one as a beginning, or the first step.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rihanna. That's a wonderful suggestion. See, farmer is also a private sector, but it's a different kind of private sector. So we need to really bring that element in the whole game plan.
Farmer or maybe industrialist.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No,
because I'm an agriculturist, so agriculture is here, so farmer. But by farmer, I mean to say the private sector of any.
Okay, I will bank upon your suggestion from your country first. Otherwise, I'll request our coordinator, Humaira Jahan Sonam and Darshika, to look at this suggestion. And if we can bring some progressive farmer who can speak, and who should be able to speak English, first of all, and who can be a good player on this platform. We will look for it. Thank you so much. Okay, so I was in the thanking mode. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Gururaj, for really very special lecture today, which really was based on your own experience. So you have lived it, this partnership. You have seen it, you have grown it, and now you have shared it with us. I think this becomes very useful. And thank you, Murat, for your very original thoughts and ideas always. We really appreciate your ideas on whatever we say. And I think you complemented and supplemented what Dr. Gururaj mentioned in terms of adding perspectives of AI and perspectives of thinking beyond the box, outside the box. So, and also the human factor which you brought. I think I never heard of it before, and I find it totally logical. And thank you everyone for joining this community of practice. We'll be sharing the PowerPoints, the recorded version of the community of practice, and be in touch with our colleagues, Darshika and Sonam. Unfortunately, she could not join because of her connectivity issue. She is somewhere in Phuket, in the sea beach. So definitely there's no chance of having a connectivity. But we will get back to all of you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Can we
sir.
have a group photo? If you
Yes,
can
sir.
switch on your camera, all of you.
Okay.
Yeah, Darshika, you.
Thank you, everyone. I initially also I have taken your photos. So yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for joining. See you
Okay.
all in the next session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.